Hey y'all, what's up? It's Friday, so I'm gonna keep it black, but I'm gonna keep it brief. So for the past couple of weeks, I've been seeing Nelson Mandela's name pop up in conversation. And this week I kept seeing the word divestment come up in conversation. And don't take my black card now, but loudest is kept. It dawned on me that I don't remember too many details about South African apartheid my damn self. Ooh, and that's okay, because I know if I don't know, it's a lot of y'all that don't know either. And don't get me wrong, that one episode of A Different World in School Days did get me hip, but that one movie with Morgan Freeman is still a little bit hazy. So when I saw the students at Rutgers, Columbia University, NYU, Boston University, and Spelman College, shout out to my young Spelman sister Rakaya Darbo, pulling out the same playbook, I thought it was time for us to have a refresher. So let's back it up a little bit. Apartheid refers to the system of institutionalized racial segregation that took place in South Africa from 1948 to the early 1990s. And not just an authoritarian government, but authoritarian political culture worked to ensure that South Africa was dominated politically, socially, and economically by the white population, even though they were the minority. They were split into one of four racial categories: white at the top, then Indian people of South Asian descent, then coloreds, multiracial South Africans, and then of course, black South Africans. And because apartheid dictated housing and employment opportunities by race, this meant that between 1960 and 1983, over 3.5 million black South Africans were forcibly removed from their homes and stripped of their citizenship. And the people were not having it. Not there, not abroad. But back in 1960, them folks didn't have social media to show what atrocities were happening. And marching over here in the street wasn't gonna do very much. So divestment was the way to go. AKA hit them in their pockets where it hurts, AKA remove your money from where your mouth is not. Amen? Divestment means no longer investing your money in something, period. That means stop opening your purse. That means if you have a business, sell off the business so you ain't gotta be involved with it no more. And when the anti-apartheid protests started in the 1960s, colleges and universities were major players in the fight. Students began to pressure their schools to divest from companies who were doing business with South Africa, thereby forcing American companies to abandon the usual "my name's Bennett and I ain't in it" approach. And by 1988, 155 colleges had divested, and by the 90s, 90 cities and 26 states had taken a financial stance against South Africa. Between 1985 and 1990, over 200 American companies had cut all ties with South Africa, resulting in a loss of $1 billion in American investment. Woo! The children really are our future. And it worked because guess what? All of this capital flight that was happening caused the devaluation of South African currency, and the inflation went crazy, which, hold on now, because there's somebody out there divesting in us, because the inflation over here is nuts. Anyway, the success of this movement doesn't negate how risky supporting divestment was or the actual consequences it had for the people involved. Enter A Different World Season 3, Episode 16, the one where the students are debating whether Hillman should divest. And of course, it seemed like a no-brainer at first, until it meant Kim, like many other students, would have to lose their jobs and their scholarships. Ooh, well, child. The episode aired in 1989, right in the thick of what was going on in the motherland. And while it was putting a hurt on the South African government for sure, it was also affecting the victims of apartheid in South Africa themselves, because it also affected their places of work and their ability to make money. Goodness gracious, I say. Now, Nelson Mandela joined the fight since the 1940s and had become a prominent leader by the 1950s. And while the movement had its peaceful beginnings, the apartheid regime responded violently, which prompted Mandela to establish an underground armed resistance group called the Spear of the Nation, or MK. And he was eventually arrested for these underground efforts in 1962 and was sentenced to life in prison in 1963. Mandela remained in prison for the next 27 years, and despite immense public pressure, he would not be released until apartheid ended in the 1990s. Meanwhile, even though American divestment numbers showed the US was anti-apartheid, somehow Mandela stayed on our government's terrorist list till 2008. Make it make sense. Our government? Make sense? Have you seen how they're behaving outside right now? Girl, I don't think they're allowed to make sense. But wait, there's more. The parking lot will be ending early this year. What? I know. But why? Because I think it's time for me to stop running my mouth on the internet and come see y'all in person. Ha! Your girl going on tour. Celebration. Woo. I'm coming to a city near you. If you are in New York, if you are in DC, if you are in Houston, if you're in Atlanta, if you're in LA, beginning in December, I'm coming to see you. Tickets on sale next Friday. See y'all soon.